Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the South Bay Syndicate. Today, we're going to be doing some testing on Dedra TT. We're going to be looking at what Dedra can do to disrupt our opponent, both their hand and the board. A lot of the deck is built around utilizing pings with different things like Punishing One and IG and our different units. Dengar with a couple bounties to try and get some pings going, take advantage of Tarkentown early, utilizing Dedra's ability with a lot of lower drops, a little bit under curve, and then the new Admiral that lets you discard cards into some of this more top end with Lucis Raider and War Juggernaut that build on those pings to do extra damage. When talking with some members of the team, they're like, could this be the new Quinlan type deck where you're doing some pings to disrupt and then hitting their base while they don't have much on board? We're not sure yet, but we're going to jump into some testing as we go into another week of PQs and we start sector season coming up. It'll be interesting to see what Dedra can do. So let's jump into some games and see how it goes. Our first matchup will be against a Palpatine Yellow, a deck historically that we have not done well against with any deck. Serial's kind of nice here because we can disrupt their card draw. I don't know that we'll see a lot of things to play with Infiltrator skill, but one Serial could die pretty quickly. So what this will let us do, play Serial, have some cards disclosed to discard, and then if they're able to eliminate it, play another one. Otherwise, we can play Tie Bomber and utilize their ability to try and get some draw going. Very happy to get our hand down first. Sudden Ferocity is an easy one, I think, to go into the discard. They could have a McClunky or something like that where they're Bazining again. We're going to get our attack in and see if we can force them into the discard. They've already seen these two, so we'll disclose those to not give any additional information out and give them the choice to lose Bazine here or discard a card. And let's see what they decide to do. The other option would be to attack to base, try and do damage to Bazine. The problem is if they have something like McClunky, or if they want to use Palpatine's ability to draw, we lose that effect either way. This keeps our hands even for now, and that's going to be an easy one, I think, for them. So what we'll try and do is see if we can get another card draw out of this with a ping. That's great. So yes, that let them resource up, but we kept them from drawing another card, and we kept our Serial on board, which we're happy with. I think at this point, with how we're curving out, we'll go ahead and resource. The Sudden Ferocity and a ping will probably be the play here. We're going to basically sacrifice, I think, our Serial here by doing this. But let's see if that's the case. Yeah, so they took the damage, sacrificing our Serial. We should, I guess that happens first so we don't get damage on base. It's okay. We're happy with them claiming. We'll go ahead and deploy with the Sudden Ferocity, allowing us to hit for 7. So big swing in our favor. And now we have a couple options here. We can play the Hoth Lieutenant to attack even more if they play a card from their hand. We could get for as big as a 9-point swing, but maybe now they'll come after it. Let's see. Other option, we could pillage and take some more cards out of their hand. But either way, we're going to get a swing in for 7. Okay, so they go after a pillage. We draw another one. But what we'll actually do is do the 9 damage here. Get them very close to lethal. They have the Kunki there. That's fine. We're going to hit the Daring Raid, I think, to get them to 21. And we'll go ahead and claim. And this aggressive negotiation here should be able to let us finish. I think as long as we don't resource here, we play it. It should do 4 damage, so that should be 11. So we'll go ahead and not resource. This Hoth Lieutenant also represents lethal if they resource and we don't. So actually here, we'll get the attack in for 7. And the reason we're doing this is now the Hoth Lieutenant or playing the Ruthless Raider. We'll end it. See, they steal there. Right, we forgot to do that part. Okay, so we'll go ahead here and ping. So we should have resourced once we realized that we are going to not play the aggressive negotiation. We'll go ahead and claim. I don't think they have an answer still, but just a slight misplay on our end. We should have resourced so that we had the Ruthless Raider as the finishing play, although we wouldn't have swung in for as much. So interesting sequencing, but good first match. I think Palpatine Yellow is a very good deck. We were able to take it down there by getting out in front of it, keeping them off of the draw, allowing our leader to hit pretty hard, and then making them make difficult choices. And I think one of the interesting things about the deck in general is you're making your opponent make choices. This is not the best hand here. Double Daring Raid could come in handy. The War Juggernaut is actually super interesting because it can do a lot of damage to the pings. But I think in this scenario, we're going to need the aggression to remove, and then we're going to need these Daring Raids to keep stuff off the board until we draw something. So we'll go ahead and Daring Raid the first one. In this case, I think we'll Daring Raid again. Let's just keep them. We had a super awkward draw. And we'll see if we can build from here. Another aggression. We're going to go ahead and keep those. So we each basically got 2 cards out of our hand. I think overall that's better for them. The Death Mark is great. So I think what we'll end up doing here is we'll get our attack in. So we can do some damage. They're opening firing. We'll deploy. We'll get another 4 in. Okay, so now we know where the Death Mark's going. And that'll let us refill our hand and have a chance here. I think we're both in a weird spot. Their hand's empty. But these Death Marks here, like say we had drawn a Dengar, the Death Marks would be great because we'd play them down. They'd do a ping each. We'd be able to kill something just off of that. I'm not sure what they're waiting for here. They just have 2 attacks to put in. The other option is we could aggression here and remove the attachments and kill 1 unit to minimize our damage, but I think the card draw will be better. And our opponent seems to have left. It's too bad because we had a rough draw here, but I would have liked to see how this played out. I think space aggro is always an interesting challenge when you're playing a deck like ours, but it doesn't look like we're going to get to see what happens. So we'll go ahead and requeue. Here we'll go against a Yularen Red. This will be an interesting deck. I think really what we want, this is not a bad starting hand. I think a Cyril would be much better. I think the best possible opening hand is getting Cyril, but we're going to keep this because we have some hand disruption here, which could come in handy, but we also have a 2-play into a Daring Raid Target Town. So we're going to resource here, play the HK. Okay, so we want to get rid of that because they could have a Vader coming down. And we don't love that. That's a good answer. So I think what we're going to do is get the Kylo's tie, the Daring Raid. There's the Vader. So let's see if we can be a little tricky here. No, I don't think we can. Okay, I think we go to the base. I think we're just going to take our lumps for this round. We'll play the Kylo. We actually won't waste the Daring Raid, so we will try this because we have aggression anyway. And we get to draw an extra card. So the aggression just immediately kills it off. So it's going to get us 2 attacks in, get us to 12, which is a big deal. We're not downplaying that by any means. Let's play Dedra out. We're trying to see, will they play something else with an attachment or anything like that. It doesn't look like it yet, but let's see what else they do. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do this. We will defeat an upgrade and deal 4 damage to a unit. We're doing it in this order because we're going to be able to kill this off for free. And then they'll have to make a choice here. We'll go ahead and pass. They don't deploy it this turn, so we're starting to think about damage. The guild target could come in handy. But what we're going to do is leave ourselves with a couple plays. We can play IG and Daring Raid to do some damage. Yeah, I think this is the right path. Maybe they have another pilot. They have an overwhelming barrage. Okay. The barrage will let them take something out. We'll see what they decide to choose. If they take out Dedra, that will change, I think, how we play the hand a little bit because we won't need the cards in hand for the damage. But if they take out Silencer and HK, that's pretty efficient on their end. And they'll still get their 5 damage in to get us a 17. And then we'll play the guild target, the Daring Raid. Let's see what they do. So I think they're deciding, okay, that is definitely a way to do it. We'll get our damage in. And maybe they have an IG or something in hand to finish us off. Oh, we're in trouble. Okay. So they can get us to 21. So we have to claim here and hope for an aggressive negotiation. I don't think I realized that came out so quickly. Because we can only do 4. Yeah, I think that's going to be GG's because this attack gets us. So that pilot ship early enough was just enough to get us, do enough damage to weaken us down, and they were able to take that one. Now we get a Tarkin Yellow, one of our favorite decks. We'll mulligan here to try and get more of a curve. This is definitely more of a curve. We won't need the 2 death marks. Maybe we'll keep 1 to get the draw at the right time. Tarkin also does a lot of drawing, so I don't know that that'll be relevant. We might want to see this War Juggernaut later off of the IG ping, but we'll see if that comes into play. Go ahead and pass here. I do like the HK, but I like the Inquisitor a little bit more for the hidden nature of it. Go ahead and claim. We will not attack Inquisitor and Icarus, so they can just outright trade. I think what we will do instead is play this out and get a big attack in for 6. Just to try and put pressure on them. The Tyrannus can shield, yeah. Get an attack. We're a little bit behind in a race as of right now. But the IG will let us do some pings and then finish something off with Tarkin Town. They may decide to trade with Tyrannus. We'll see. They do. They do. okay. That's not really a worthwhile use of that, but that's okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. That makes way more sense. All right, we'll go ahead and claim. This gives us a couple options here. I think we'll go to base. They can just trade. But we want to keep putting pressure. Although we're in trouble, right? They're in a great spot. Their leader deploys here. They're going to keep playing units out. The old dock actually makes the planetary kind of useless here. There's not a lot we can do to damage it, but we can get 11 and another 3, so we can get 14 in. I'm just not sure we can do it in time because they have 12. So while it's going to be close, I think they're going to slightly do it. If we had an aggressive negotiation, we could pull out a victory, but we do not have it here. If we had the aggressive negotiation, we wouldn't resource. So we'll swing in for 5. Again, we're just going to be short. Gem for Flurry Vader doesn't really mean anything. It's a bit of an overkill. They already had lethal on board. There's not anything we could do, even with aggressive negotiation, with the number of cards in our hand. It's really this readying that I think they're preventing. That was a mistake on their side. The game should be just over. But there we go. It was over anyway. So GG's to our opponent. Okay, we got another Vader pilot. Not sure what's going on. We're going to leave this and try and find something else. Okay, at least it's a Vader yellow, so we'll take a look at this one. This is more of a meta deck, see how we do against it. Weird games tonight. I know people are doing a lot of prep for their PQs tomorrow. But is what it is. I do like some of this space, so we'll go ahead and keep this. Get rid of Dengar. Turn 2 will be that. We'll go with this. This is probably getting taken, right? By a shuttle. Oh, only having 1/1 drop. Okay. Sure. Oh. Oh, what do they got? We'll hold. I'm excited for tomorrow. I don't know if others are. I think it'll be really fun to watch some of the coverage of the sector over in France. A lot of great PQs happening around the US and around the world. And then the next weekend are when the sectors start. For us in the US, there's one not too far away. I don't think we'll be going. Timing's just not going to work out with some of our schedule with school and things like that. So we'll be sad to miss that, but definitely excited for some of our teammates that are going. I think it's going to be a great time. I know some of the other guys we see at a lot of the tournaments, the Fallen Order, and those guys will be headed out there. So wishing them a lot of success. Wish we could go. When I think about the types of decks to bring and how to be disruptive in that space, I think there are a lot of opportunities. Like we saw with Sabe, where it gets underneath everything. That was really cool to watch. And I think that someone will come up with something else that disrupts what they're trying to do on the blue-green hero side, and some of the Colossus that's showing up, both on the hero and villain. That Palp Colossus did well. The Han Colossus did well. I don't know if you guys are trying those out, but they look super interesting. And then it's will aggro rise up, I think, to battle it, or like the Han 2 ECLs and the Han 2 Blues and the mid range decks that are out there right now, too much for aggro to handle. Yoda, when he gets his Sentinels out, can make it very difficult. We're going to claim here. So we swing for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's going to be lethal with aggressive negotiation. So Dedra with the sudden ferocity, with aggressive negotiation, I think very important. Yes, they've gone super wide. They can't really do anything about the Dedra attack that's coming. We have way more cards in hand. So we will be able to outrace this. Sure. And that even give us extra damage from the HK before they bounced it. Again, so we'll claim here, we'll aggressive negotiation, and that's going to be a 14 value, which will end it. You can see right there, I mean, it's swinging for 14. GG's to our opponent. So we struggled into one deck, was able to get over on us, but we've done well against the pilots, which is nice. And you can see where the pinging can come in handy. Even the one ping we got with punishing one against Vader was enough to disrupt a little bit of damage. In this case, we're going to go ahead and keep. There's a little bit of a struggle when you think about our opponent's deck. The pillage, they're probably going to have a ton of cards in hand, so it's not going to come in handy. I don't know that we'll have anything to death mark, but let's see if they do put something out like a super laser attack to try and ramp. I really like the Cyril for forcing them to discard as they're trying to get card advantage. But already they're drawing, right? So not going to be our best option here. This extra attack could come in handy, so we'll go ahead and put down HK and see if they power. They resupply. Okay, so we'll put down HK. We won't have a target here. Dedra at this point is just hitting for 2. So that's interesting. There's a point, I think, where we just stop resourcing and see how big we can get the aggressive negotiation. Last round, we were able to get it up to 14. I think that could be a win con here as well. They decide to pass. We'll deploy Dedra. If they're passing to avoid the Cyril ability, we'll happily claim without taking that 2 attack to continue to keep their board clear and put damage on. Okay, so this is nice. So now we can try to get them to discard. And we'll still get our swing in and we'll pass. I think we stop resourcing at 6. They deploy Palp next turn, so either way, we're going to be in a weird spot. Overwhelming Barrage is nice for them. Also lets us kill it off with this, so it'll die at the end of this turn. Maybe the other option would have played Ruthless Raider to kill it off, but it's okay. I think Raider can kill off one of Palpatine's things they'll have going on. It's tempting, right? Tempting to put the guild on because you know it's going to be 0 cost. They're going to put Palpatine out there with his little minions. Just going to do these real quick because they're easy kills, and we're doing damage to base each time. So happy to do that. And I think now we have a representation of a win in space, and we're just no longer resourcing. And we're seeing if we can get to that point where we can finish them off. That's not going to help. We got another one. So now this hits for 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So we're going to claim. And we're going to hit for nothing because they got entrenched. So we'll try and we'll defeat the entrenched. We'll go ahead and deal 4 damage to Palpatine. This still hits for 7, which is just enough. If we can get this attack off, we cannot. I should have Tarkin down first. Actually, I don't think it would have mattered. It would not have mattered because the sequencing would have allowed them to claim. And I think at this point we've just lost. We just can't get ahead of the Avenger. Yeah, so that's too bad. We were pretty close. The entrenched was enough for them to finish us off without us being able to do that last swing of damage. All right, they're just, I don't understand. Sometimes people can just let the games end. Good game to our opponent. They got us right at the end there with that entrenched. We had an answer, but they had an answer back, and that's kind of how it goes sometimes. And we do see Darth Joe here with the Sabe Tarkin Town, kind of one of the darlings of last weekend from one of our friends at the Fallen Order. I believe they did an interview with the KTOD team this week. I recommend going to check that out. Always great work from them where they interview some of the fun decks that they're seeing out there and other great content that they put out. Go check that out for sure. Okay, so Sabe is going to have a lot of small units. I think the IG is going to do well. I don't think we're going to have a chance to draw, but I think if we get to War Juggernaut, I think it can also do well. And I love the Cyril here getting in, forcing them to make decisions around card draw. Yeah, so I think just right here, what we'll do is we'll attack into the BD. We will go ahead and reveal another Cyril because that doesn't really give up much information. And we'll see what they want to do. If they want to discard a card, I'm okay with that. If they take 2 damage here and then they're able to capture, that's fine as well. We'll go ahead and play the Inquisitor out. The Inquisitor is almost bait for the shuttle. We feel confident that even if they shuttle, we can play the IG. How did that die? Oh, they Target it. Haha, okay. Okay. So they have 3 cards in hand. Either way, we can put the guild target on the Ibn Hawk before we target town it if we want. No. Okay. So we're going to play this. We're going to wipe out 2 of their units. We're going to be able to target town the 3rd one. Right now we have a card advantage, so we want to do this in the right way. They just close a Falcon, which we'll see shortly. Yeah. Okay. So we'll be able to swing in for a decent chunk. We'll put that on there. We'll go ahead and target town. Do some damage. And the aggression here is great. So we want to make sure that we get to play that. So if they flip Sabe out, they also have Plo Koon here. If they're running Plo Koon, he'll do some damage. We have 3, 6, 10 to get into 21, and then we can ready again to possibly finish them off. So let's see if it plays out that way. They have 3, 5, possibly another 4, maybe a sudden ferocity. But we can answer the sudden ferocity with aggression if that's what's done. And I keep forgetting to hit done on my resourcing. Apologies to our opponents there. Kind of talking through what we're thinking. And the guild target came in handy there. It helped us put them right within lethal. Sure, we're not as concerned about that. We'll get our damage in. That certainly helps them out. 18. This represents 4. And now they have to claim. They decide to attack, which gives us the win, and GG to our opponent. It doesn't matter what we do here. So, yes, they were able to capture the Grand Inquisitor, but we were able to put them in check. I think there's an option for them to claim, but that did 4 damage, so I don't think they could get there because we had 2 units out. So GG's to our opponent, and you can see Dedra was able to take out one of I think the hotter decks right now. That was just one matchup. It could go many different ways, but as we look at the cards, I think they got a lot of what they wanted to do. They were able to capture, get some big ships out, and we were able to answer it with our disruption, our pings, even our guild target with that extra damage just to get them within lethal. And then Dedra actually got to hit for 12 over 2 turns, which is great. That's half their damage about. So a lot of power when you can sequence it in the right way and keep cards in hand. We go into our next matchup here against Cassian. I think Cassian is going to be played a lot more than we're seeing it now once the sets rotate. I think when we start our rotation series, we'll look at Cassian, we'll look at Luthen, all of these different types of decks. So right now we don't really have a turn 2 play, so we're going to mulligan. We still don't love what's going on, but this no disintegration could eliminate something. I think Planetary is not going to come in. And then Dengar. So we'll be looking at this no disintegration on turn 2, I think. Not with Karis though. Okay. Maybe we are. Weird draw. In this kind of a fast race deck, I don't feel great. That I feel better about. Go ahead and kill that off. Okay, so now we have Dedra coming down. We would love a sudden ferocity, but we don't have one. I think right here, let's see if they let us draw another card. The lieutenant coming out, that's fine. I think we're in a bad-ish spot. As confusing as that is, I just don't think that the damage is going to be in our favor here. The Chewbacca is really nice. Yeah, I think we have to kill off the Chewbacca. I think that would have represented 6 damage, just more than we could handle. We were behind on cards there, so I think we'll take that out. We're going to need some actions here to stay ahead of them. I think a Cinta on this deploy is pretty devastating. We can do 2, another 6 is 18. If they do it with Cinta, they'll be at 16, and we'd be tough for us to come back because we can just do 4, 7, 9. Yeah. Okay. think we have no choice here. We're going to take the 8. Yeah, that's all we could do. Okay. For a cause is great for them. Yeah, I think that's game. Let's keep our hand. Let's ping ping. I think that's GG's. Oh, nice, nice. Double. Yep. Good game to our opponent. I just think we saw right there, I think in turn 3 resources, where the way the board had played out was definitely not in our favor. That Chewbacca forced us to have to try and trade into them, giving them, I think, the momentum. I think that point where you decide to trade into their units, you almost lose. But the other option was to take 6, then 12 from Chewbacca, and I think the game's over on the Cassian deploy. So either way, I think we were in a tough spot. The For a Cause to close the gap into the Fleet Lieutenant, Heroic Sacrifice, just a lot of things on working on their side. Yes, we see the Kylo's tie here. We're not super upset about that. We have 2 chances to take it out. One chance will make them discard. One chance will give us an extra card. So it'll be interesting to see how they decide to play this. I think that Cyril is great. And yes, it powers up Dedra. I think that there's other decks that also make it very strong. That you could look at, like the Thrawn, where you get to when defeated, which can let you double remove cards with Ozzel and these other things. And then it can open the door for you to really put pressure on with Cyril and these other things as you get into different cards. Okay. I think they don't. I think they didn't want to keep discarding cards. I think that who knows what's in their hand, but clearly they didn't have a second turn. We were going to try and make them discard again, which they were not looking forward to. I did like where this was playing out for us, but GG's. It's going to be a weird set of videos where a couple games end super early. Here we go with a Han to Blue Force. This might be the last one today. Maybe we'll get a couple more in. See if we can get a decent draw. This is a horrible draw, right? This at least has a turn 1 and a turn 2. The target town can be good. A ping can be good here. This is pretty good too. Turn 1. I think actually like the pillage over the aggression in this case. I think they are curving out fast on us. That's going to kill us. So we can target town. They can then just remove it. So we're going to go ahead and claim. We'll get our 3 damage in. They'll move the damage over. They might play another damage unit, which powers this up to 5. They do not. Okay. Interesting spot. We can notice integrations. Here, let's do this. We're going to notice integrations to take that to 5. This lets us trade into Marin, unless they decide to do that. They do move the damage over. I don't hate this. Trade, Tarkentown. I think this is my best chance to get up on the board a little bit. And now they can either take the damage or we can swing. Okay, they decide to take it. Oh, okay. They attack in. We'll go ahead and kill that off. I'm sure they're going to attack in again. We don't mind any of this. I think aggression here kills that off. They have no play, which seems rough. Let's go ahead and, just because they had no play there, we're going to go ahead and do that. They can't Luke to kill us here. That's not anything ramping. So let's see if they let us draw again. They do not. Okay. It seems okay. What do we got here? I'm going to stay here. See if we can get this aggressive negotiation up. It's hitting. Let's put a Vader pilot on in case their play is Luke. It was. So that saved us, and now we still have a big unit out. They're taking 2. We'll get some damage in. Again, we're not really resourcing. We're building up our hand. I think the first attack is with TIE Bomber. See if they take any indirect to Luke. We really just need them to take 1, right? They take all of it. Maybe they have another Luke. They do. It's amazing. Now our aggressive negotiation is hitting for 5. This is hitting for 7, so that's 12. So we could, in theory, represent lethal here if we can get the right attacks in. But they have a restore attack, so they have a fell. What do we have? They could just take this to base, right? Because then they can immediately heal it. We get a double ping in, which will let us kill it off with the IG. So put the death mark on it. Play the IG. We'll draw 2 more cards. Okay, so now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's the bow. We're going to play it. We're still going to swing for 1, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this should be it. So we'll deal 1 damage here, 1 here, and that is enough. So good game to our opponent. We're able to get over on them with a huge swing from aggressive negotiation. We get the +6. We're swinging for 12, 13, 14 on that. So good game to our opponent. They were able to get to bow and double Luke, and we're still able to take them out. And you can see how Dedra can be very powerful. I think we'll go for 1 more game to close it out. We'll go against Sly 30, one of our favorite new leaders. I think what you're seeing throughout this video is Dedra has something. It can be disruptive. It can go fast. It can hit hard with 1 swing. But does it have enough? And I think that's what we're trying to figure out. What are the right other cards in here? This draw is not going to do it. We don't really have anything we can do here. Even this guild target I don't think is the right play. And now against something like Sly Moore, we're going to be in a tough spot. but it is what it is. I think they'll be taking some damage. We're going to keep the second sudden ferocity in hand so we can boost something up. We'll go ahead and play this. I don't think we're mad at the idea of disrupting their hand here. We have double aggression. We have sudden ferocity coming out. Okay, so that game just ended. I'm not sure why. I would have loved to see them play it out. So we'll do one more. I'd love to see some other meta deck that people are testing or that they can expect to see just to see how we hold up against it. This is pretty close. I think Obi-Wan is starting to become really popular. I think coming off of that, I think there's the K Todd team's Mystic Monastery version. I think people are starting to pick it up again. We're going to keep this. We have a decent curve. I still think Pillage can be valuable along with this hand disruption. This will be an interesting one because we can double hand disruption on the curve. But we are concerned already about General's Blade. So we might have to waste a lot of resources on this turn, which would have made sense to keep one of that 2-drop in case we have to Daring Raid. But let's see if they put the General's Blade out. Do not. Okay, they go with the Obi. I think we'll go here. Let's go after their hand. I think the play here is go after their hand. Great. Now we'll be able to take out Gunji without too much. A lot of interesting choices that we have right now. I think this is the first easy one. They don't have anything else. They put the General's Blade on. We're going to pillage their hand so they don't have anything else to use. So even with the General's Blade attack, it's not like they can do anything. No Killer and Beck next turn. No Kiadi. And I think what we have to do is swing, Daring Raid. And this is unfortunate timing on the draw, but is what it is. Sure. That's going to let them get a big ol' attack in. We're going to have to defeat 2 upgrades. I think we'll defeat those, and then we'll deal damage. Not ideal. Is what it is. We're going to have to claim here. It's just one of those hands, I think. And also nothing else we can do here. Okay. We are way behind on this board. Looking for a miracle that we're not going to find. There's just nothing we can do, right? They're going to... We'll draw all the cards. We'll cry. They just need 1 unit to stick. And I don't think we have an answer for that, do we? Let's just hit them with the indirect. They should take it all to base. And they win the game. We could have done 3 damage, right? So we will claim. We'll say GG. GG to our opponent there. Nicely done. Just nothing we could do. And we'll go ahead and jump in and see what else we get. I think the Forces with Me was just too much, right? That extra attack forcing us to waste multiple pieces to get rid of it. It's just nothing we could do in that point. I do like Cyril here. Getting big ships out is good. This is also a big ship killer, so we'll go ahead and play this out this way. I They got their droid. We have double pillage, so let's see if that makes a difference. Okay. So they did that, which means they didn't have the MC30. So now we just swing in here, so they can't get that activated. They might deploy that. We'll go ahead and take 2 more out of their hand. I do like seeing the OB. Although, seeing one OB makes me think they have another one. They resource. Let's see if they attack first. If they attack first, we'll pillage again. They do not. Good job by them. We'll hit with a no to go. They might end up deploying here. They do. So we'll claim. I think this is a lost game. You can already tell, right, as we're going through it. They'll resource even with the second pillage, right, where we've ripped all the cards out of their hand and they're top decking. We got almost nothing. And there's no way for us to come back, really. We're going to have to hit so hard. And they just need to draw the one right card. Right? So this is going to 7 to get them to 15. But we're basically... And that's it. GG's. So the pillages can be interesting, but they put you behind the curve in a match like this where you need to race. And there's just nothing we could do. So even with just one ship, 2 ships really all game, that's more than we could handle because we really didn't have anything on the board. We want to go wide there, just swing to base and put pressure on. I think we were forced into like this double pillage game, and maybe not. Maybe we could have resourced those and played the units. It just didn't feel like we had a chance. Getting that overwhelming barrage was big, although they didn't seem to care much about it, right? They felt pretty comfortable without it. And that's how it goes with those games. Okay, let's talk about the deck. So I think that we saw some ups and downs with Dedra. I think it's a fun deck. As I think about how it played out, I do like the idea of setting up pings. I think the double red might not be worth it, right? 3 aggressions, okay. We didn't run the double red officer that lets you draw or get a spy token when they draw a card. And so we ended up with just double red for Target Town and aggression. Target Town is very strong, especially in the current Han 2 meta. But I think it's worth exploring other options. Like, could you go with the super wide red-yellow angle and do some damage there? But is Dedra the right leader in that case? Because what really is it giving you? I think the pay 1 ping or draw is super interesting and can be valuable. It's just maybe it doesn't need to be double red. And that's kind of my takeaway here. Aggression is okay, but you can bring in Fang Fighters, you can bring in Confiscate, other things to accomplish some of that. And then you can curve out with more speed with Surprise Strike or Hot Shot Blaster. And then if you look at green or other areas, obviously ramping and overwhelming barrage can be powerful. But overall, I think a very fun deck. I think Punishing One, and Ruthless Raider, and War Juggernaut and IG create these additional ping points, making on top of her value, putting your opponents in tough decisions. And we saw that in some games where people just don't even want to deal with it and leave. Other games where we got people close and they're able to stabilize. And then a few games where we hit with aggressive negotiation and we're able to build it up to close out. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a great weekend. Good luck at all of your PQs. I think our next video is going to be interviewing our SBS teammate James, who's who took top 4 at last weekend's PQ. What I'm hoping to do is interview him and talk about his run, and then have him play some games for you guys, talking through his GAR ECL deck. So look out for that next video. Also, I think we're going to have some exciting news coming up around maybe a sponsorship with our local store, maybe some giveaways for our viewers. So please like and subscribe. Really excited to continue to grow the channel. We just passed 100 subscribers, which is a big deal for us. We haven't been doing it for that long. So big milestone there. We're looking to hit some additional milestones and put together some live content as well as more of these games. So really appreciate everyone watching, and have a great weekend.